So apparently this is X-Shot's best blaster ever, and no, it is not clickbait because it's literally engraved on their box art. But we're no fools, we're gonna test out this claim by answering your questions you submitted about the X-Shot AEB. Is it accurate? Should you wait for a sale before buying this? Is the plastic quality straight doo-doo? We'll chat about those and more right now. First question, show us that AEB ASAP, please. Oh yeah, absolutely, my pleasure. So inside the box, you get a new style 15 dart half-length mag, a new scar barrel to improve accuracy, a metal barrel, safety glasses, 2 iron sights, a rechargeable battery and charger, 40 darts, pretty generous, and the AEB itself. Next questions, tell us more about the AEB. Do it now. Okay. So for those out of the loop, let me explain what AEB actually stands for and why are people so rabid about it. It stands for Automatic Electronic Blaster. If that's not helpful, I don't blame you, so let me just demonstrate instead. So here we have a magazine with short darts. Load that in and watch what happens when I pull the trigger. So if you notice, there was no priming required, and there was no acceleration trigger I had to pull before firing the blaster either. So in a nutshell, thanks to this box art with this fancy gearbox and electronics that I'm too dumb to explain, this allows you to pull the trigger, sends the signal electronically to this plunger, and this plunger drives forward, creating that kinetic energy to launch the dart forward. So essentially you're getting an electronic spring-powered blaster, and you get the added benefit of this being more accurate compared to a flywheel blaster, at least in theory. It's no exaggeration to say this is one of the craziest blasters to be released in years. And that's because X-Shot is the first major dart brand company to release an AEB commercially available on store shelves. That also doesn't cost over $200. Yeah, it's literally a first of its kind. We have a couple of viewers asking about the build quality of the AEB, and that's a totally fair question because X-Shot is not known for having high quality plastics in their blaster. Almost within seconds of picking this up, I could tell the build quality is actually really good for this blaster. It has a lot of weight to it and not in a bad way. So like if I try twisting my hand to twist the plastic, nothing budges, there's no creaking, there's no screws about to blow off. So even when I extend the stock here and try to put pressure, there's not much bend and you're going to end up hurting your shoulder before you actually do any damage to this. The mag release is just, it's perfect to me. It's big, easy to access, and you also have the secondary one right here where you can take out a magazine. Notice I haven't even touched on the front grip, or this trigger here, and that's because they're all awesome. I have no complaints. It's definitely Dart Zone quality plastic, and honestly it could be up there with like Nerf rival blasters as well. Honestly, one of the cheapest pieces is the scar barrel. It looks cheap, it feels kind of cheap, but as long as this thing doesn't break down, which I don't think it will be, it should be fine. Back here we have this T-bar style release lever, which you can use to manually load darts, and we can see there's actually quite a bit of flex to it. You could definitely snap it off if you're not careful. I'm putting pressure on the blaster, squeezing it, and there's just no give. It's incredibly solid. The metal barrel is metal, so it's solid, of course, but it gives the whole thing a more real steel look. In my opinion, that's a downside. But luckily, they do slather it in this beautiful, vibrant blue and pink color scheme. I love this color scheme. I know Dr. Flux uses those colors as well. Like just pure aesthetics, this is probably like a 9 or a 10 out of 10 for me. So another important question, is the AEB noisy? I don't know how loud it is compared to other AEBs, but in general, yeah, it's a loud toy. If you're playing with this in a park, people will definitely hear it. I wouldn't necessarily say it's louder than a motorized blaster. You can argue that the AEB is quieter than motorized blasters because for those ones, you have to hold down the rev trigger whenever you feel like you want to fire the blaster. Some people will love that electronic ka-thunk sound that it makes because it's like the Stampede or other blasters. I don't know, I got sensitive ears, man. If I fire this a lot, yeah, it does start to build up. It does feel a little bit annoying, but it does feel powerful when you pull the trigger. So I guess that cancels it out. When and where will the AEB be available to purchase? Greetings, so this is Future Legit Bread here. After filming this whole video, I get this random late night message from X-Shot telling me more details about this. So the blaster will be coming out to the US on June 9th, and the retail price is $90. So that's a lot higher compared to the $60 price that was leaked before. But that discussion on price we'll get to afterwards. What does the AEB use for batteries? So back here, if we pop this off, literally, there's no elegant way to do this. We see that luckily it comes with and uses its own rechargeable lithium-ion battery. This is a 7.4 volt 2000 milliamp battery. As referenced, the $90 Dart Zone Omnia Pro comes with a slightly smaller battery capacity at 1800 milliamps. So as I showed at first, we have the battery, we connect it here, and it just sits in this small part of the stock. So you can see that there's just barely enough space for the included battery, so you can make your own interpretations of how good or bad that is. Can the AEB take strong/weaker batteries to have strong/weaker performance? So unlike the Dart Zone Mark III, which you could literally just out of the box plug in a LiPo battery, right now it doesn't seem like Xshot has included any sort of feature like that. Could you share the dimensions of the barrel? Yeah, for sure, let's do that. So we just unscrew this part, take out the barrel. So from outer wall to outer wall, we have a 16 millimeter diameter, and in terms of length, we're looking at about 1.5 bananas, so converted, it's about that. Why does the Walmart listing say it has a 40 dart capacity? Yeah, so there is a leaked Walmart listing for this thing. I missed the part where it does say 40 dart capacity. That is wrong, it comes with 40 darts, but it comes with a 15 dart magazine. Plastic or metal gears for the AEB? I'll be honest with you, I'm not done playing with this yet, so I'm too scared to open it up and accidentally break anything, but I think we'll know the answer to that soon when some other braver creator can open up this blaster. Is it better than the Zeiss BK1S? That's another popular Nerf AEB. I haven't used it myself, so I can't give a definitive answer, but here's what I can say. Out of the box, the AEB is compatible with Talon magazines. The BK1S is not. When it was in stock, the BK1S would retail for 160 USD on Out of Dart's website, and from the leaks, the AEB should be a fraction of that price. The BK1S fires 6 darts per second, whereas this fires much slower. We're going to cover that pretty soon. Does the AEB damage darts when firing it? Great question, me. So here I have a handful of darts that I've fired through the AEB, and one noticeable difference is it barely damages darts relative to motorized/flywheel blasters out there. I might find an occasional dart that might have like a little piece of foam nicked at the back, but so far it looks like their quality is degrading less compared to flywheelers. And that's awesome because that's one of the reasons why I dislike traditional flywheelers. What's the stock FPS on full auto? On the left side of the blaster, we have the switch that changes firing modes. Right now it's off. In the middle, that's going to be your single fire. And flipping it back here, that's full auto. I'll be honest, my setup for measuring full auto average velocity is scuffed. Yes, that is a chronograph on top of another chronograph. So yeah, I'm using a different chronograph here, so the results might be slightly different. On 2 different attempts, I got an average of 161 FPS and 154 FPS. From my testing, it doesn't seem like there's a degradation of average velocity when you're firing in full auto compared to single fire. So again, another thumbs up. For single fire, I was also using the included Xshot darts and magazine. I was getting an average velocity of 150 FPS out of a 30 dart sample size, which is exactly what is advertised on the box. Is it easier to rapid fire in semi-auto mode compared to full auto mode? This is where things can get a little disappointing. The rate of fire for full auto is about 3.75 darts per second. It's like a very admirable, solid rate, but nothing great either. Now firing in semi-auto/single fire mode, unfortunately you do have to recognize there is going to be a delay. Every time you pull the trigger, the plunger or piston needs time to reset back in its prime position. So if you try pulling it multiple times while it's doing that process, you end up dry firing or not firing a dart. And that kind of throws you off when you expect that something's going to come out of the barrel. Yes, it is something you can get used to, but it is like an annoying restriction that you have. For a normal motorized blaster, you can just turn it off and that's the end of the story. But for this blaster, if you turn it off, after about 5-10 minutes, it starts to beep. When that happened to me, I'm like, what the hell's going on? But then I realized I think it's an indicator saying that, oh hey dummy, you left the blaster primed. It's really subtle, but in this cutout, you can see this white tab, and that actually indicates that the blaster is still primed. So to deprime the blaster, you have to have it in your single fire mode, pull the trigger. Once you pull the trigger, you hold it for about 5 seconds. It will make that loud sound. And if you look at the cutout, it's now black, meaning it's now deprimed. So that's like a little extra step that you have to remember, but it's cool that it has that feature to actually remind you. And now a big question, is it accurate? Overall, yeah, it's pretty decent. I wish I was more hyped about this. I do feel bad since people are so excited about the AEB, but to me, it's good. Like, it's nothing super noteworthy. As you can tell from my super high-tech setup, I'm able to hit this milk jug, or at least hit in the vicinity of where the chair is. But I'm not Black Widow sniping headshots every single time. And I'm using worker heavy darts provided by Out of Darts, so shout out to them. These darts sacrifice a little bit of distance for a little bit more accuracy. But yeah, from this distance, I can comfortably hit the milk jug or around it. For single fire, it's pretty consistent. We have some deviations of darts going left or sometimes falling short. And compared to full auto, just from my naked eye, there wasn't really any big difference, so that's good to know. So it could be bias or my eyes playing tricks on me, but when I was using this specific worker Talon mag, it seemed like I was getting less distance when firing out of it. So I wonder if different dart magazines will affect range or performance. I pretty much ran out of sunlight, and this is more of a first impressions video, so it's really hard to tell whether this is true or not. But from my initial testing, it's really solid. And another really awesome thing, so far I've had 0 jams with this blaster. There are 2 different ways to de-jam the blaster. So you got the manual release lever here to kind of shimmy darts around. We also have a jam door on the side, and I guess for safety purposes, we do have a screw in there. It's kind of like a break glass in case of emergency kind of situation. The next question comes from Jack Black, and definitely not from me. Will my AEB break after using it a while? When using this blaster, even if the magazine is empty, it will continue to dry fire, and you will be dry firing this blaster a lot, just due to the nature of it. And dry firing in AEB is usually no bueno, and that can cause long-term damage. And that's a big concern that none of us have an answer to right now. Will this blaster break in a few months, in a few years? How durable is it? It's really too early to say, but if it's any comfort, just in my short limited time of using it, it hasn't shown any sign of wear and tear. And now for a really big question, is it worth the price, or should you wait for it to go on sale before buying it? These are only my first impressions of the blaster, so it's really hard to say in a few months of playtesting whether I'll still vouch for this. People are also more wary of the build quality of this blaster, considering its leaked price is 60 USD. I'm refilming this part knowing now that this blaster will cost $90 when it comes out. A question for you is, do you feel better knowing that the price is higher? Are you more disappointed that it's more expensive than we thought? Or do you think that price jump doesn't even matter because this was always meant to be a $60 blaster, but they just had to adjust it because of the tariffs? $90 is expensive for a blaster, but considering what we get, all this new tech packed into it, it is redonkulous, the quality and like the value that you get out of this. Again, a lot of high quality AEBs out there cost over 200 USD. But if this thing really is hiding a can of worms, I can't see any of it from my initial play. I am really enjoying this. Should you be out there on day one snagging up the AEB, or should you hold back and wait for a sale? I think it depends on which camp you fall under. So there's going to be some people, like your average Nerf consumers out there, who are probably not going to cry over spilled milk if they have to wait a little bit to get this on sale. Because honestly, your experience with a nice Springer, a nice motorized blaster, is not really going to change too much if you get the AEB. Now, if you get this, it's really just the small little quality of life improvements. For example, I love how I can fire this thing without revving up some stupid trigger, without shredding my darts every time I fire out of it. Those things are really nice. And for anyone who loves the technology behind this, they're going to be drooling over this. For now, let me know what you think about the AEB. Am I right? Am I wrong about different things? Are there other things I should cover about this blaster? But for now, check out this video right here. I hope you enjoy it.